welcome back to episode 6 of Behind the Hustle. I'm Emma Bridge, and I'm thrilled to be back with another inspiring story from the world of small business. Firstly, I'd like to apologise for the unexpected break last week due to some business commitments. We had to take a short pause, and I appreciate your understanding. There will be another 2 week break after this episode as I continue to juggle business priorities. Now my voice is going, but we'll be back with more amazing interviews. This series is all about celebrating the entrepreneurial journey. Each episode, I sit down with a different small business owner to explore their unique path, the hurdles they've faced, the triumphs they've achieved, and it's a space to learn, be inspired, and support each other. So let's get on with it. Today, I'm excited to welcome Emma Sidney to the show. Emma is a dynamic entrepreneur and a seasoned expert in her field. She's here to share her story, the vision behind her business, and the incredible work she's doing. So let's get started. Hi, Emma.
Hello.
Thank you for joining me today. I'm really looking forward to hearing about your business and your journey and what drives the business. So, do you want to start off by telling us a bit about your business, what's inspired you, and how did you get it off the ground?
It's quite a story really because I have gone on a very wibbly wobbly journey. So I was working in corporate in internal audit, going through a lot of personal development shifts for me. I lost a lot of weight, and I then got into like neuro linguistic programming and lots of different things and coaching. Originally started off as a nutritional life coach, got into creating, this was 10 years ago, creating courses, programs, because I was working alongside, and internal auditing is all about, it's quite a high pressured profession, basically going into businesses, working out what's working, what's not, and all that. So it's quite high pressured. So doing the two side by side, I got into doing things that were more efficient and also obviously made the most of my sort of skills and expertise. I moved to Devon, met my husband, lots of things going on, and steadily started to shift towards the more business side because that's a lot of what I actually did enjoy, and really crafting something that I enjoyed and that would add a lot of value. So that sort of shifted into what I call business design, which is about consciously creating a business. And I my emphasis is more around creating courses, programs, but still doing one-to-one if you want to, but it's about the different sources of income and being visible in a way that doesn't burn you out, and the mindset side. And also I randomly have this passion about email marketing because it weaves into lots of different things and it makes a good use of your time. So yeah, it's been a very wibbly wobbly evolving journey.
So, what's been the biggest challenge that you faced as a business owner, and how did you overcome it?
I think it's been the kind of the wibbly wobbliness of it because and this is one of the things that I help with in terms of creating what I've now developed into more what I call like more of a core framework and core message of what you're about, what your business is about, because I'm multi-passionate. So I could offer if I wanted to. One of the areas I specialised in was GDPR, for example, or I could go and do management consultancy, or I can teach you business strategy. There's so much I can do. And the way and that to get out of my own head, even though I help others with it, can be a challenge because builders don't always do their own stuff, do they? So it can be a challenge. And I think for me, as I've developed the frameworks and the process for how I help others, it's kind of going through that. And that's really ended up helping me. But I don't want to appear of like someone who can't do what I'm talking about. But equally, I want to be open and honest and say, I'm evolving what I'm doing as much as you are. So, that's where I've come to with it all to go, you know what? And I'm a mom of a 3.5-year-old. So my business has had to change on the back of all of that because I'm tired. I've got a lot going on. So actually, I do walk my walk and I do talk my talk. But sometimes I found it also challenging to sort of go, right, actually, this is my journey.
Yeah. So, I did actually miss a question there. I was supposed to ask you, what is the mission of your business and what are the core values or goals that guide you?
So a big part of my mission is helping those with a mission. So I'm all about collaborating. I'm all about celebrating other businesses. So I have a Facebook group and I have members for free. They can come and talk in my group. And I have those who are very similar to me, who could be argued as offering similar to me, come into my group and do talks because I want to celebrate other businesses. I'm running a summit because I want to celebrate other businesses. And again, there are similar that could overlap with what I do. And that's at the core of what I'm about, really. I mean, like I said, I have done like saying GDPR and I've gone into lots of different organizations and every time it's different. I want to get across the idea that no one size fits all. We're all different. We're all going to appeal to different people, and that needs to be celebrated. And you can refer within your own industry because we don't want to work with everybody for a start, and it's that kind of thing, and that's really what sits. And I'm very much about, like, I know it's a coined use, but it's coined use like heart-centered, being, the whole spiritual side of things and the whole like mindset side. So they're values that are really key for me.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So, can you share a memorable success story or a milestone for your business, and what moment has made you feel especially proud of what you've accomplished?
I'll be completely honest. I think because it's such an evolving journey, there just isn't one. It's an ongoing thing. One of the things I encourage is celebrating all the different milestones that we reach. And I do struggle to do it myself, I'll be honest.
I'm
It's one
with
of
you
those things.
there.
So I think because I tend to do it, I try and do it like small, small, small. And sometimes for me, it's been getting through my week, stuff like that. Yeah, yeah, exactly. And that's something I just want to encourage. It's like it doesn't, yeah, I don't think there is like one. Because it's been, I mean, I've been doing this for 10 years really, and I think it's just like it's just an ongoing thing. Does that make sense?
Yeah, completely. Yeah. Completely. I would say that it's probably the same for me because I'm only 5 months in. So there's not really anything that stands out at the moment. Just getting to the end of a day and getting an invoice out sometimes is an achievement. So how would you differentiate your business from others that are in your industry, and what sets your business apart in a very competitive market?
I think, and this is where I end up sometimes, I can get myself tied up in knots over this. I think what sets me apart is the fact that I don't say one size fits all. I don't sit there going, follow my way. My way is the only way, which a lot of those in my field do. And they use that type of messaging and marketing to sort of go, don't go over there. That's rubbish. Come over here. And
Mm.
I don't want to do that. But in the reason I get tied up in knots is in saying that I'm almost then belittling, not belittling, but rubbishing that approach. And that approach has its way and it has its way of following it. But for me, like I've had women come to me who've been told that they've been doing everything wrong. They
Mm.
need to rip up what they've been doing. They've put so much heart and soul into it, and then they need to do it all over again. And I think because of my background in internal auditing, I'm all about developing and evolving and using what's already there, starting from where we are now. And I think that does set me apart. That and the fact that I bring the human touch to everything I do. So I'm trained in neuro-linguistic programming. I was a coach. I suppose I still do coaching in what I do. So I bring that in. So for me, it's not the transactional side of doing all of this. It's how you bring in the human side. And I teach from that point of view, which can be a bit different from the other people teaching what I do.
Fantastic. There's a lot of strings to your bow, in other words.
Loads.
So, what advice would you give to someone that's looking to start their own business? And are there any key lessons that you've learned that you would like to pass on?
Really understand who you want to help. And there's loads of people who struggle with the idea of niching, of ideal client, and all of this kind of stuff. And I completely get it. And it's something, yeah. And it's something I really struggled with when I did my nutritional life coaching. I really, really struggled with it. But the way I kind of say is it's about really bringing something into your core of who you help. And it's not about you. It's not about them. It's actually about you, because we are human beings. And if you're trying to connect in what you're offering and your messaging and everything to loads of people, your brain can't process all of that, and their brain can't process. And it's very much a brain thing. There's a part of the brain called the reticular activating system, and that part of the brain helps us achieve our goals. It filters out junk because there's so much going on. Well, you don't want to be filtered out by like junk, basically. And I think really understanding who that is. At the end of the day, I've got a book, and I'm sure the numbers aren't there, but my daughter has a book which is about a bear trying to find its way home. And this bear goes on a journey, and it says there are 8 billion people on this earth. And at the end, he ends up with a little boy in a bed. And it's just a wonderful book. And it's all about differences, and it's all about different cultures and different foods and lots of different things. But it is true, if you're trying to appeal to everyone, that it's just too many people. That doesn't mean that you have to restrict yourself. It doesn't mean, sorry, I'll get on my soapbox about this.
Right, you're
It doesn't mean it doesn't mean that you're not going to help others.
mm,
Um, it's just the fact that it helps you with your messaging in a really crowded space, and
yeah,
you can then do so in a positive way, and in a not, instead of going pushing others down, you can do it in a way that builds people up. And
yeah,
part of that is then understand. So the way I'll start, because I've been sort of working on this for a while. So the way I'm starting to teach it is about understanding the journey that you want to take your audience and your clients on with you in your offerings and in your marketing, and really understanding where they are now, because you can do so much for them, but their brain might not be able to connect with that. So when you can boil that down and understand where they are and park your ego of like everything you actually want to help them with, because it's not about you,
mm.
then that's going to be key. And that would be my biggest piece of, like, I know, as I say, I've got on my soapbox, but that is
No, yeah, it's fine. Um, so we're moving on to the local community now. So how much does your local community play in your business, and how do you engage and give back to your local community?
so I am someone who is mainly and massively online in what I do. So I've had clients in Dubai, in all different parts of the world. But as a mom to a toddler, I've loved networking. So when I lived in the Midlands, I loved work and did a lot of networking. But as a mom to a toddler and living in Devon now, I have found a lack of networking. So actually, what I did uh, in the last year, I joined forces with a company called Small Business Vibes and set up an in-person networking for women in Exmouth, which has been great. So that is a really great space for other women to come together in person. It's done in a way that's not breakfast, not
Yeah.
that I can do. That's why I did it. But it's also it is it's in a local coffee shop. It's all of this kind of stuff, and I'm hoping over time that I can build on that. We can bring more networking here. So I'm a big believer in networking, and that does build that sense of community. When there's not enough here of
Mm,
women business owners coming together.
mm.
So that's the main thing that I did. And I also have a bit of a vision in a year or two when my daughter's gone to school and I've
Okay.
got the headspace to do it.
Yeah.
It's to create some kind of like, because you see all these like, I do anyway, in Bolton or London, like coming togethers of speaking and network and
Mm.
all of that kind of stuff. Those powerful, you
Yeah.
know, events, and I'm like, I don't really want to travel. So I'm even contemplating that, which again would really bring that community to the southwest a bit more. But yeah, so that's where my community sits at the moment, is other women business owners. But yeah, mainly I'm online.
So that kind of leads us into how you see your business evolving in the next few years and what your plans are for growth and new projects.
Whenever I do, because I run quite and create and teach how to do it as well, lots of masterclasses and workshops and stuff. And I'm always jumping ahead. So I'm glad I'm jumping ahead to you as well. Um, yeah, so there is what I've just sort of said. And for me, it's very much I recently created I bought out a membership because I just create so much. And it's for me about really doubling down on what I'm doing. And I'm running my first online summit in November.
Yeah.
And I've had a great deal of interest. I've got like over 40 speakers and all of this kind of stuff, which is amazing. Um, and for me, I've always felt like I can be the person that brings the puzzle pieces together.
Yeah.
Um, and I often have and haven't worked, and maybe I am doing it by default, is how to bring businesses together, how to create those collaborations, how to help business find business. I've talked about in the past about sort of like, I can only ever describe it as a business dating agency. And I'm steadily kind of building. That's sort of my bigger vision, is the whole thing of back to every business stands out. Every business has a unique person behind it. And there's just so much opportunity. And I believe if we come together more, we'll create more business
Yeah.
rather than trying to kind of like hold on to that one little bit. And that will create less burnout because we're working together rather than separately. Does that make sense?
Yeah, 100%. So, what's one thing you wish more people knew about your business? And is there a misconception or a hidden gem that you'd like to share with us?
I mean, one of the things, as I say, I advocate is email marketing. I'm quite passionate about that, because and a lot of things that weave through, what can really help a business. And I think there's such a misconception. And the reason I started to put it out separately was because of this misconception over it. And again, because it's taught in quite a pushy way in some respects, but even our perception of like, I can't send an email that tells somebody what I have to offer. Well, yes, you can, because
Mm,
actually we're all in business. And I think, especially women business owners, we can kind of get into this zone of I can't tell people what I'm offering.
mm,
And I think there's a misconception about how email marketing can be about building community instead of it being all about the spamminess, but it's about both. It's about how, again, it's that journey. How can
yeah.
I continue to take my audience on a journey,
Mm.
basically, in my emails, but also be
Yeah.
proud of what I offer.
I think for me, email marketing hasn't really been an option because I haven't got an email list and I don't know how to get one.
Oh, you need to, I can help you with that. Oddly enough.
I've been plugging away at socials because I did try to do like a high converting landing page and things like that, but it didn't really, I think I was still too new at the time. I don't think enough people knew. I pop up all the time now on Facebook and LinkedIn and everywhere else. I think I've probably got a
And
better chance at having another go.
it's also, I mean, I definitely recommend MailerLite
I use that.
because MailerLite, yeah, MailerLite. I mean, I pay for MailerLite and it's a great tool and it will evolve with you. I use it for my very new website and all of this kind of stuff. And there's a lot of options with it, and it's so important. Like I've seen so many people recently who get chucked off Facebook or get chucked off wherever, and I love these platforms. But
Mm,
it's very true. If you don't have people's email,
yeah,
then that's another reason to do it. But equally, it is about the fact that it's an opportunity to keep talking to your
yeah.
audience off socials. So yeah, I could go on about that all day, but
So we've hit the last question of the day, and I hope you've prepared to answer this because everyone agonizes over this question. So, if you could have one celebrity, past or present, endorse your business, who would it be and why?
I haven't agonized over it, but I came to the conclusion I'm just not a celebrity person.
Yeah,
I've never been somebody who, and I don't know if it goes back to like, I did internal audit and I used to like it. I was like in my 20s having to tell chief execs that something was really rubbish. So
yeah.
whether it's just I just don't have that celebrity
Putting the
vibe, if you
pedestal
like.
almost. Yeah, yeah.
So it's not something I massively think about. There are people I love, don't get me
Hmm.
wrong, but they would be in Formula One, which has nothing at all to do with my business and would look really bizarre.
one of your stickers on the Formula One car, Mind you, they go so
Yeah, I can
quick.
sponsor. No, it would cost so much money because they're always struggling. Not that always struggling. They're obviously always after sponsorship and money. So yeah, and there were a lot of there's amazing people out there who I'd love to collaborate with potentially, but not necessarily in the celebrity world. I'm not someone
High
who let,
profile, maybe business owners.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But again, I could enter their world, but for me, and I could go to their things, but for me, I'm like, well, you're not here. You're like miles away. So there are some that I would love to get involved with, but are just
Mm.
like they're not going to be on my radar. So yeah, it's a really boring answer, really, but I'm one of those people who, like, you say, what's your favorite book? And I probably have 20. Your
Yeah.
favorite TV program? I can tell you generally, like, I actually probably do have one, which is Australian MasterChef. And again,
Okay.
but yeah, that's one of I love MasterChef and that sort of thing, and foodie type programs.
Yeah.
But again, you can't really, and Formula One, obviously, but you can't get. It's like, so yeah, when I saw that question, I was like, well, there's nobody really,
Hmm.
yeah, who I think of. So that's my
Yeah, no,
answer.
I think even I would struggle, and it's my question that I ask everybody. So thankfully,
It's a
I'm the
bit like I know it's a bit like going to an interview. And I used to joke about this, and because we used to have a lot of banter in my one of my roles, which was really good. Asking at a job interview, like, "What's your favorite biscuit?" That's what
I
we
was
did,
having this conversation just last week.
and it's like it's that question. It's a bit like that sort of
Yeah,
question. What's
I
your
was
favorite
actually
biscuit?
having this conversation because I did a post a couple of weeks ago, and it got a bit of controversy because I sort of asked in an entrepreneurial group, you know, this had hundreds of impressions. Only four people actually voted, and even less liked it. But it was it was just a bit of fun for a Friday afternoon. I think I was just like I'd done for the day, and I was just like, oh, I'll just put this on. And it was if your biscuit could speak, what when you dunk it, what would it say? It was either be quick or something about dunk it slowly or something like I don't know. Anyway, and it started a few conversations, which was the whole point because it was supposed to catch your eye. Like, what's she talking about biscuits on LinkedIn for? Because LinkedIn can be a little bit stuffy, if I'm honest. So I
That's
just,
it.
oh, let's lighten everyone's afternoon and ask. And then I ended up getting into a whole conversation about if you were a biscuit, which one would you be with this lady? And
Yeah,
we had an amazing conversation last week and it was brilliant.
and I
Another
think you can do
conversation.
that. And I love doing that. And I put out, I mean, I did one on LinkedIn around whether you would have, what would you have on your chips? So would you have tomato sauce, curry sauce? And I also have quite often done, what do you have for your Sunday dinner? It's a bit
Mm,
pants that you could only have four. But
yeah.
the thing for me that sits under a lot of this is it's water cooler chat that you would have had in an office. So it's
Yeah.
having that conversation and having a bit of fun
Yeah.
in what's supposed to be a networking space. And also, it from my point of view, because I have that belief
Mm,
in the fact that everybody is different, then it brings that across. It's like,
yeah.
actually, you know what? It just brings it across. I have my eye on a post about pizza,
I saw
and
that.
so it came to me, and it's going to be about how pizza can be basically what you're offering. So you could have an all-in meaty feast
Yeah.
where you're wanting to offer lots of different things. You could be a
Mm.
ham and a pineapple, and it's all different tastes. And that's one of the things that I help you do is create your pizza. I've just got to try. That's in my head. It's easy to speak it. I've just got to try and think about how I word it. Yeah.
I think for me, I am one of them pizzas where you just put everything on it because I do a bit of everything, and I've steered away from saying jack of all trades now because it can be deemed as not a good thing because people go, oh, well, she's good at a bit of everything, but she's not actually good at one thing, which is not technically true because I put my heart and soul into everything I do. So it's just a case of I've got so much curiosity and so much desire to learn that I will take on anything that anyone goes, do you know how to do that? I'm really like, I don't, but I'm going to go and find out and learn because that's just who I am. And that I think is quite a valuable asset.
And that's exactly where I am. And then that's why I say about the whole thing about looking at how you can pull that together into that
Mm.
messaging and into that journey. And there's a lady on LinkedIn who, and I can't remember names, but she talks, and her whole thing is about generalist and being a generalist marketer, and
Yeah.
that's okay. But it's just then thinking about how that can then come across. And we all need to do that. And I've created the Feel Good Funnels Academy, which basically I created last year, and I'm now bringing it back out again as part of my membership. And it's a one-stop shop.
Mm.
It's because I've created so much. It's for, you can create your masterclass, your lead magnet, your signature program, and all of this kind of stuff. And I've got stuff to bring it all together.
Mm.
And I've put off pulling that back out and putting it together because it's like, oh, it'll be overwhelming. Oh, people just want short, sharp, blah, blah, blah. But actually, to have one space, which is a pick and mix space, which you can then develop over a period of time, will appeal to a lot of people. So I'm like, right, okay. I do a bit of quite a few things. So let's celebrate that.
Yeah, definitely.
Celebrate multi-passionate.
Well, it sounds like that voice is going again.
It is, isn't it? I was like, I have a drink. I've done well.
So I'll edit that out.
I don't mind. I don't mind. I like, right,
I've
okay,
got to
drink.
the point now where I'm not editing out as much because I figured, do you know what? If I've got a bit of a, because I have a little bit of a lisp, and I was starting to try and edit out where it was quite noticeable, and I was like, it's taking too long. If people don't like it, they don't like it.
I hardly ever edit what I do. I might have a couple of goes if it's short videos and stuff, but I very rarely edit things because life's just too short, and I believe in showing up as I am. And even when I'm doing like training videos and things, and I could go back and redo it. I like, well, go, actually, you know what? I'm just going to carry on because I want to demonstrate that you can do that, and you don't have to spend hours doing videos to get your course out there. You don't have to, that needs to be a post. You don't have to kind of, all of that sort of thing. You can just show up as you and just talk as you,
Yeah.
and people will love that. And it doesn't have to be a barrier to
Yeah.
actually getting your stuff out there.
Fantastic. Well, it's been lovely chatting to you. Thank you so much for sharing your story with us today. And it's been truly inspiring to hear about your journey and the impact that your work is making. So, what we'll do is when I post this on YouTube, it will have all your links of where everyone that's watching can come and see what you do, connect with you, and find out more about your work. So, that will all be in the links. I will be taking another break for 2 weeks. So there'll be some ongoing business commitments I've got to sort out. So don't worry, we'll be back with more amazing interviews after that. I've already got one lined up. So everyone just needs to stay tuned and bear with us. If you've enjoyed today's episode, please like, share, subscribe, push all the buttons, share it with your friends, tell each other about it when you're having a coffee or whatever. And if you're a small business owner and you're interested in being featured, do feel free to reach out. I do still have quite the list that I need to work through, but I am always open to new businesses popping up and just saying, can I have a little shout out? So that's no problem at all. I'd love to hear from you. So thank you for joining us both on Behind the Hustle this week. Until next time, keep hustling and supporting small businesses and also stay inspired. Thank you so much.